Breaking news! The Denver Broncos offseason has taken an unexpected turn, and it may be the best thing to happen in weeks. Before you go any further, hit that like button hard, but only do so if you're a true Denver Broncos fan. There are fans who only follow the team on game days. Congratulations to everyone who's trying to follow along at all times, including before the draft. If possible, write something like this: Go Broncos! Let's come back stronger in 2025. The name at the top of almost every Broncos fan's wish list for free agency was T. Higgins. The idea of pairing him with Bo Nix had fans dreaming of explosive plays, yards after the catch, and a true game changer to complement Courtland Sutton. But just as quickly as the excitement grew, the Cincinnati Bengals slammed the door shut, using the franchise tag to lock Higgins up for another year. For many, this was a gut punch. The idea of adding a player of Higgins' caliber was exciting, especially after weeks of speculation, social media hints, and even polls asking fans who they wanted to see in Denver. But sometimes, what looks like a loss is actually a win in disguise. This move not only keeps Higgins away from the Broncos, but it also prevents him from landing with division rivals like the Kansas City Chiefs or Los Angeles Chargers. Imagine facing Patrick Mahomes or Justin Herbert with a new elite weapon. That nightmare scenario has been avoided. And while Higgins won't be wearing orange and blue, the Broncos now have an opportunity to move on to other options who might actually fit even better in Sean Payton's system. Enter Chris Godwin. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have made a surprising decision. They will not be using the franchise tag on Godwin. This opens the door for Denver to target a proven receiver who fits seamlessly into what Sean Payton wants to do offensively. Godwin brings elite blocking, incredible hands, and the ability to dominate in the screen game, three traits that make him a natural fit in Payton's playbook. He's the kind of receiver who not only moves the chains, but also makes life easier for a young quarterback like Bo Nix. While Marvin Mims brings speed and Sutton brings physicality, Godwin could be the missing piece that ties the entire offense together. Fans are already buzzing about this potential move, with national accounts linking Denver to Godwin and social media posts hyping up the possibility. And let's be honest, there's something exciting about adding a player who can be a true game changer without breaking the bank. Unlike Higgins, who would have required a massive contract, Godwin is likely to come at a much more reasonable price, giving the Broncos flexibility to address other needs. But the options don't stop there. Recent reports suggest that both Deebo Samuel and Cooper Kupp could be cut if their teams don't find trade partners. This presents an opportunity Denver simply cannot ignore. If either of these playmakers becomes available on a veteran minimum contract, similar to how the Steelers landed Russell Wilson, it would be a massive steal. Imagine Bo Nix having a weapon like Deebo Samuel, a player who thrives in yards after catch, or Cooper Kupp, one of the best route runners in the league. Either of these moves would instantly elevate the Broncos' offense without forcing them to give up valuable trade assets. And then there's the wild card, Garrett Wilson. Rumors are swirling that the New York Jets may be open to trading their star receiver. The relationship between the Broncos and Jets front offices has been strong, as seen in the recent trade that brought Franklin Myers and Zach Wilson to Denver. If the Jets are truly shopping Wilson, the Broncos could be near the top of the list of potential suitors. Wilson is a former first-round pick with elite upside, and the idea of him catching passes from Bo Nix in Sean Payton's system is enough to make any Broncos fan dream big. Of course, upgrading the offense isn't just about receivers. Tight end remains a position of interest, and one name to watch is Juwan Johnson. A player Sean Payton personally drafted in New Orleans, Johnson has shown flashes of being a big-time playmaker. While his numbers aren't eye-popping, his ability to come through in clutch moments, whether for touchdowns or first downs, makes him a valuable asset. Given Payton's history with him, don't be surprised if Johnson becomes a Bronco before the draft even begins. So, Broncos country, what do you think? Is missing out on T. Higgins really a loss, or did Denver just dodge a financial bullet and open the door for a better overall offseason? Should they go all in on Chris Godwin? Would you rather see them make a play for Deebo Samuel, Cooper Kupp, or Garrett Wilson? And what about the tight end position? Should Juwan Johnson be on the Broncos' radar? Let's hear your thoughts. Drop a comment and let's break this down together. While the initial sting of missing out on T. Higgins might still be fresh for some Broncos fans, the reality is that Denver is now in a prime position to make smarter, more strategic moves that could set them up for long-term success. Instead of overpaying for a single receiver, the team can now spread its resources to build a more balanced and dynamic offense. Let's take a deeper look at why Chris Godwin could be the perfect fit in Sean Payton's system. One of the biggest takeaways from last season was how much Payton values receivers who can block and execute within a structured offense. We saw this with how he utilized Lil Jordan Humphrey, a receiver who wasn't necessarily a household name but remained on the roster because of his blocking ability and versatility. Now, imagine upgrading that role with a player like Godwin, who brings elite-level blocking and top-tier receiving skills. This isn't just speculation. National analysts have already pointed out that any run-heavy, screen-heavy team should be prioritizing a player like Godwin in free agency. Beyond just the fit, Godwin's price tag makes him an even more attractive option. Unlike Higgins, who was expected to command a massive contract, Godwin's market value is more reasonable due to Tampa Bay's cap situation and the overall depth of the receiver market. That means the Broncos could land a Pro Bowl caliber receiver while still maintaining flexibility to strengthen other areas of the roster. But here's where things get even more interesting. Denver might not have to settle for just one big addition. With the rumors surrounding Deebo Samuel and Cooper Kupp, the Broncos could be in a position to pull off one of the best bargain deals of the offseason. If either of these receivers is released, Denver could sign them to a veteran minimum contract, similar to what Pittsburgh did with Russell Wilson. Think about that for a second. Adding a receiver like Deebo Samuel, who is one of the best in the league at generating yards after catch, or Cooper Kupp, a Super Bowl MVP and route running technician, for a minimal cap hit. That's the kind of move that could instantly transform the Broncos' offense into one of the most dangerous units in the league. Of course, there's always risk in waiting for a player to be cut rather than aggressively pursuing a trade. If a team like the Patriots or Panthers jumps in and offers draft capital for one of these receivers, the Broncos could miss out. But at the same time, Denver isn't in a position where they need to panic. With multiple strong options available, the team can afford to be patient and let the market play out. And then there's the wild card, Garrett Wilson. The rumors about the Jets potentially making Wilson available have only added to the intrigue of this offseason. While there's no guarantee New York will actually move him, the Broncos' relationship with the Jets front office makes them a legitimate contender if trade talks heat up. Wilson, a former first-round pick, has been stuck in a bad offensive situation in New York, catching passes from struggling quarterbacks like Zach Wilson. Pairing him with Bo Nix and Sean Payton's offense could unlock his full potential and make him the true number one receiver the Broncos have been searching for. This all raises an important question. What is the team's priority? Should they go all in on one major addition, like trading for Garrett Wilson? Or should they take a more balanced approach, targeting Godwin in free agency while keeping an eye on potential cap casualties like Samuel or Kupp? And let's not forget about the tight end position. One of the more underrated storylines this offseason is Denver's potential interest in upgrading at tight end. While Greg Dulcich has shown flashes of promise, injuries have kept him from becoming a consistent weapon. That's where Juwan Johnson comes in. So, Broncos country, let's hear your thoughts. Would you rather see the Broncos go after Chris Godwin in free agency or make a big trade for Garrett Wilson? Do you think Denver should be aggressive in trying to land Deebo Samuel or Cooper Kupp if they're cut? And what about Juwan Johnson? Should the team make a move to strengthen the tight end position before the draft? Drop your opinions in the comments and let's get this discussion going. This offseason is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in years, and the Broncos are in a prime position to make some serious noise. What happens next could define the team's future, so let's talk about it.